Hi everyone, my name's Debbie. Welcome to this Pilates workout. A little bit about me if you've not done my class before. I had premature menopause at the age of 29. That caused the onset of osteoporosis and weak bone density. Following that, some years later, I had a prolapsed disc and I started to look into alternatives to help my body and obviously repair itself. I found Pilates and I've sort of stuck with it ever since. So I've been doing Pilates now for the last 15 years. I've qualified as a Pilates instructor and I'm here to pass my information and the knowledge I have onto you guys, hoping that hopefully in time, if you have issues, you will feel the benefits from it. Or if you're just doing it for plain exercise, then that's absolutely fabulous too. Today I'm going to work on some stretching. We're going to be working on our quadriceps, we're going to be working on our hamstrings, we're going to stretch out our calves, and we're going to start by strengthening the core point, which will help support our spine. So I will use some weights without the class. Entirely up to you if you use weights or not. I just have small weights, not overly heavy. They help to build the bone density around the arms and the back of the shoulders while using them in the hands. And in turn, it all helps to build up and strengthen our body to support the issues that we might have. We're going to start by laying down. So if you take yourselves to the mat, you can either come down from your side. If you have low blood pressure, please come down from the left. Or you can come down with me. I'm going to be coming down one vertebra at a time. We'll come down in what we call our C curve. So we don't just drop ourselves down, we curve ourselves down. We bend that spine, we curve it, and we come down extremely slowly. Now, if you haven't got the strength and you get to this point and you find that your core's not holding you, take behind the back of your thighs and bring yourself down, taking the weight into your hands and your thighs from here. Don't at any point take any strain or pain in your lower spine. That's not what we're aiming for. You'll be given different options throughout this class, so do choose the options that you wish. Don't try and go for the harder options all the time, because that's pushing your body beyond what it wants to do. And if you're feeling any pain at any point, just stop and take a smaller option. And at any time again throughout the class, if you feel it's a little bit too much and you need a rest, you can come into what we call child's pose. So you take your knees to the width of the mat, your toes are knocked in together, and you just drop yourself over. You can also take it from here with the knees together and just drop yourself down to give yourselves a little rest. Okay, so let's take ourselves down to lay and get ourselves prepared for our practice. So if you're coming down with me, we're sitting up nice and tall. We've got our feet flat on the floor and on our mat. We've got our legs hip width apart, and we take our hands out in front to start. Or you can, right from the beginning, hold behind your thighs. We're doing it from the core. We're C-curving down slowly. Notice the C-curve. I'm not up here, I'm curving down. I'm pulling the spine, I'm pulling my core, and I'm coming all the way down to the floor slowly. Throughout the class, we want to try and hold the core as tight as we can. We breathe in through the nose, we breathe out through the mouth. Each breath that you take in, you pull the core. Each breath you take out, you pull the core even more. Ultimately, we're pulling that core, we're strengthening the lower deep muscles within the pelvis, and we're giving ourselves that strength to support the spine. So we're going to start with our legs long. Otherwise, if you have lower back issues and you're really not ready to do that yet, feet mat width apart, knees locked in together. So I'm going to be taking my legs long. We're going to take one full body stretch. You can stretch even with your legs here. You can take that stretch away, but make sure you pull the core tight when you're doing that so the back doesn't start arching. Pull the core tight and stretch from there as you're stretching, pushing away with the arms. Otherwise, you're putting from here, you're pulling that core tight and you're stretching away. Really stretch. Feel that stretch and then release. Taking hands down to the sides, slightly away from your body, palms facing up. We're going to give ourselves a nice big tense and a squeeze. We're going to tense all our muscles up really tightly on an in-breath, and on the out-breath, we're just going to let everything go. So let's do that. Let's start by squeezing everything tight. Squeeze, squeeze that face. In-breath and let everything go. Do that again in your breath. And release. release our neck. So just rock your head gently from side to side, releasing out your neck, just slowly, relaxing the shoulders. The shoulders are not moving, they're just relaxed. Then coming to centre. What you can do now is we're going to bring our chin to chest. So we're going to use that with our breathing. So we're going to pulling our core with an in-breath. And as we breathe out, we'll pull the core in even more and we're going to lift chin to chest. Okay, just chin, shoulders are staying down, we're not lifting up here, we're just lifting our chin to chest. When we're here, we're going to take another in-breath and pull in that core more. And then we're going to breathe out, pulling the core as tight as we can. Bringing our head back down to the floor, allow the head to relax, allow the stomach to relax, and allow your whole body to release. Everything's going to relax now. We're going to lay here for a few moments and just prepare ourselves for the practice ahead. So lay nice and gently and still. Big deep breath in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. Relax. Let the feet drop out. Let the legs relax, let them go heavy. Let the pelvis and the lower spine be heavy in the mat. The mid-spine, the upper spine and the chest. The hands and the arms. The shoulders, the neck and the head. Totally relaxed, just laying there. Relax those face muscles. Relax the top of the head. And close your eyes if you can. Take a look internally now at your body. Take a scan from the tips of your toes, follow up the legs. Scan your full torso, your hands and your arms, your shoulders and your neck. And look for any points of tension, any areas that you think you might need to be working on throughout this class. And then just concentrate on your breath. Just the rise and fall of your natural breath in your chest. Okay, let's start to bring some movement into our body. Wriggle our fingers, wriggle our toes. Give yourself a little bit of a wake up, maybe another full body stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Everybody feet up, mat width apart with the knees locked in together and arms out to the side. Just a little relax there, then parting the knees. So we've got our feet now nicely on the mat. And we're going to take a little tiny spinal twist, okay? We're going to start to stretch now in the spine. So we're going to start gently with our stretches. So we're going to take an in-breath, pulling in our core. And on the out-breath, allow the legs to drop over to one side. The feet stand where they are on the mat, shoulders nicely on the mat as well. You can take your gaze over to your opposite hand if you wish. And feel the stretch through the spine, across the quadriceps and down the back of the thighs. Those hamstrings stretching on the lower leg. And then on an in-breath, pulling in the core. On the out-breath to the top, breathing out as you reach the top. Let's do that on the opposite side. So big breath in, pulling in the core. Breathing out, pull that core in even more. And drop the legs to the other side. Your point of tension, and when you get there, just release, let everything go, let the core go, and relax into it, breathing into any points of tension, asking it to relax. And now on the top leg, again, you're going to feel that stretch down the top of the thigh, the quadriceps, the back of the thigh, the hamstrings. And a little bit of the hip. Now as well, you'll feel a little bit of a stretch perhaps through the hips either side, and that little twist, that spinal twist in the spine. Then taking an in-breath, pulling in that core, bringing the legs to centre, reaching the top and breathing out. Let's take in our hug. Those that have done this before my classes, you'll know that we take a hug throughout the class. So we're going to take an in-breath, pulling in the core, and when we do that, we're going to lift our legs up. Now, haven't quite got the core strength to lift your legs up, like so, and you're feeling it as you start to lift them up. You feel it in your lower spine. Take behind the thighs and pull them up. Okay, so in-breath, pulling in the core, out-breath, pull the core in even more, and hug those legs in. Feel the stretch in the lower and the mid-spine, and release. Take an in-breath, out-breath, and release. Okay, feet down to the floor. Right, we're going to start by a gentle hamstring stretch. So we're just going to take one leg up. We're going to keep the other leg so foot is flat to the floor. We're not going to be stretching it out for the moment, so keeping the leg there. Lifting one leg up, holding behind the calf. If you can reach your calf, you might not be able to. You might sort of be pulling from behind your thigh and pull the leg towards you. Now, I have a slight bend always in my leg. I never lock it out. I'm not able to. If I lock it out, I start to get pain. But what we want is like a gentle stretch now here in that hamstring, and we're going to pull it towards us. Okay, you're going to get a little opening around the hip at the same time. You're going to feel that stretch, and just do it gently because we are still warming up. So every in-breath you're pulling in the core, and every out-breath you pull that leg a little bit closer. Don't do it too hard just yet. Feel the stretch, just be holding it there for a moment. And then release. Now we can take the opposite leg along the floor, keeping this leg where it is. We're going to take the same arm as the leg that's in the air out to the side. We're going to hold behind the calf, and we're going to allow that leg to come across the body. Okay, just gently. We're not lifting our whole body up. Our bodies stand there, and we're just allowing the leg to come over to one side, opening up the hip and stretching along the inside of the thigh and the hip. Keep that core tight, guys. On an in-breath, pulling the core tight, bringing the leg back to centre, breathing out. Bring the other leg back up so that it's flat onto the floor, and we take this leg across and we hold behind the opposite thigh and we pull it towards us. We're going to use the arm which is with the leg that's crossed, and we're going to use that as leverage to slightly push away. Again, just doing it gently, we're just still warming up. So gentle stretch there, opening the inner hip. And then release. Let's take that on the other side. So the opposite leg now, taking that up, holding behind the calf or the thigh where you can reach, and gently start to pull that leg towards you, very gently. Don't do any pain there, no pain anywhere at all. Breathing in, keeping the core tight. Every out breath you pull that leg closer, keeping the core as tight as you can. Get in the stretch that we require. Taking that leg up, opposite leg long down the mat, holding behind the back of the calf, opposite arm out, the arm that you've got, the same arm as the leg goes out straight, and then we bring that leg across and we feel the stretch. You're going to get a little bit of stretch around the outer hip, you're going to get the lower spine, and we're going to be gently stretching. Keeping the shoulders on the floor, keeping the core as tight as you can. By keeping that core tight, we're supporting the spine. And then on in-breath, pulling the leg back to centre, breathing out, bringing the other leg up, dropping this leg over, taking behind the thigh of the leg, bringing it up and using this arm to push against the thigh that's up to get the opening there on the inner hip. I like to close my eyes when I'm doing the stretches so that I can look and see where there's any burning or tension that I need to be working on, concentrating on, not pushing it too far, just gently where I am. And then releasing the legs back down to the ground. Let's take in our hug, so breathing in, pulling in that core, pulling up the legs from the core, breathing out, pull the core even tighter. And stretch. Start to feel the warming now in the spine, starting to warm up. Okay, fabulous. Bringing our legs down. All right, we're going to do our normal core strengthening now, so we're going to do that with our sit-ups. They can be done with weights. They can be done without weights. Every move that we do can be done with or without weights. When you're bringing yourself up to seated, okay, you're coming up, you're keeping the heels on the floor, you're keeping that core tight, and you're bringing yourself up. Now, if you find that when you're coming up, your feet are lifting and your hand around, you can put your feet onto the floor, you can hold behind your thighs to bring yourself up. So you can bring yourself up. If you start coming up and your feet are moving around, they're not staying there, hold behind your thighs, bring yourself up from behind the thighs, holding there to come up. Okay, we can do it with hand weights. That was coming loose, sorry guys. So we can do it with hand weights, so you can do feet flat on the floor. I like to do the classic sit-up. I like my legs long. I find it's less painful on my spine, but again, it's your choice. You do what your body is happy doing. So you're sitting up from here, you're pulling in the core, and you're sitting up, and you're coming up and very slowly, keeping the core as tight as you can. We're working those core muscles. That's what we want. We want the strength there, so it supports the spine, okay? So we'll start with our gentle sit-up, so feet flat on the floor. We're going to get our neutral spine first, so we're hip width apart with our legs. And we take our hands into our triangular shape, we put them over our pelvis, and we start to tilt the pelvis up and down, getting our neutral spine. Now, it's a really nice way to do it with the breathing. So as you breathe in and you pull in the core, the hands will go down. As you breathe out and pull in the core even more, you tilt the pelvis up. All the time you're strengthening. Now, when you release, you keep the core tight. You don't relax it, you keep it tight. You breathe in again, you're breathing out. Keep that core tight as you release. Breathing again, breathing out. And keep doing that. It's just a tiny movement. And then stop. You can relax now. So you'll be in your neutral spine. We want to keep that core as tight as we can for all the moves we're doing. This is what Pilates is all around, core strength. You might have a slight arch here under your spine. We don't want great big arches. Some people have a natural curve to their spine and they will have a gentle tilt there, but that's okay. And also we don't want the glutes lifting off the floor. We want our spine nicely flat onto the floor. So that's what we do our neutral spine move for. Our pelvis tilt gets us into our neutral spine. Okay, when we're comfortable there, we take our hands behind our heads. Now we're not elbows up here, elbows are nicely out to the side. We're going to take that in-breath, pulling in our core as we just did. And as we breathe out and tilt the pelvis upwards, pulling in the core, we lift head and shoulders. We hold it, we breathe in, we breathe out. All the time, keeping that core tight, don't release it. Breathing in, breathing out, release. Keep the core tight, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You can take the hands away. Doing the same thing now. can slide your hands up your legs. Try to go beyond your knees if you can. And then you can go for your full sit-up, whether it be here, whether it be with hand weights, whether it be with your legs long down the mat. We're going to do 8 of our favourite sit-ups. Now, if you're still here and you've still got your hands there, that's great. Do your 8 there. You're still working the core, you're still getting those inner muscles tightening up and strengthening. So let's do our 8 sit-ups wherever you might be. Let's core in, core out, as you come up. So just 8 wherever you are. Last one, coming up now. Bringing yourselves down, putting the weights down if you have them. Everybody knees up, feet flat on the floor. Let's take our hug. Breath in, bring up the legs, breathing out. And release. Breath in, breath out. All the time that core's tight, and release, bringing our feet back down. So the final part here, which will work the extreme low, deep muscles around the pelvic floor, is what we call our teaser. So have a go at it, even if you just do one, even if you can't get up as high as you want to, have a go, because it is really one of the best, well, it is the best move that you can do for core control in Pilates. So we move one leg slightly further out, it's not quite up here, slightly forward, knees locked in together, leg nice and straight. So we take our hands, we take them overhead, we take our breath in, and as we breathe out, we start to lift ourselves up. You might get to here, that's fabulous. You might be able to come all the way up. We're just going to do 4 on either side. If that's too much for you, stick to your just gentle sit-ups where we were previously, at whatever point you were happy and whatever your chosen area was, you stick to that. You choose your options. One more on this side, guys. Put that foot down and bring yourself down to the floor, taking the arms overhead, lifting the other leg up. Let's do 4 on this side. Keeping the core tight. Don't snatch yourselves up, come up in a slight, nice, lovely, smooth movement. If you can't do that, stay to there. So if you're getting to here and you feel you need to throw yourself up, don't. Just stay where you are. It has to be a smooth movement, otherwise you're just jolting the spine and you're damaging the vertebrae. Last one, coming up now, guys. All the way to the top. Weights to one side and bring yourself back down. Let's take in our hug. So breath in, bringing up the legs, breathing out. Breath in, breath out. Okay, we're going to bring ourselves up now. We're going to start to do our stretches. So, oh goodness me, I'm feeling warm already. It's a very hot day today. So we're going to bring ourselves up. Now you can bring yourself up by coming up from your side and pushing yourself up to seated. If you're doing that, come up from your left with the low blood pressure, anyone that has low blood pressure. Otherwise you can come with me. We're going to roll like a ball. Rolling like a ball massages the whole spine from the tip of the tailbone to the top of the neck. We're doing it nice and gently. You're going to feel that lovely smooth spine roll. So taking up your legs up, you can cross them now if you wish, and you're going to hold either behind the front of the calves to start your roll from there, or you can hold behind the thighs. Try not to put the feet down when you come up. If you do, it's not a problem, but try to keep them in the air as you come up, keeping yourself in a nice ball shape. You can take your hands away. And you can even take your hands out to the side to bring yourself up. And then when you're up, sitting up nice and tall, sit as straight as you can with that spine, keeping that core tight. Bring the legs in as tight as you can. Really bring them in. Sit that spine tall. Sit the head nicely, so the head in line. We don't want to be looking up, we don't want to be looking down. We want our head facing forward, so we've got a nice long spine. Feel that spine opening, sitting tall, breathing in, pulling in the core, breathing out, breathing in, and then if you want, tilt the head down and open that spine even more. Stretching it out, and then release. Excellent, guys. Okay, right, my hair's in a bit of a mess. Let me just put this back up. God, I can't believe how warm it is. So let's get that there. Okay, right. Let's bring ourselves round onto all fours. Okay, we're going to start with a calf stretch. So we're going to get ourselves nicely here, and then we're going to take one leg back. We're going to push into the toes, and we're going to stretch. Okay, you're going to stretch the calf. Really push back, push into your hands, push back into that leg and feel that stretch. Keep the core tight. Breathe into any points that are feeling tight there. Ask them to relax. And then release. Okay, let's take that calf stretch on the other side. Taking the leg out, pushing into the toes and pushing back. Feel the stretch. Don't forget to keep the core tight, bring that in. Let's do that again on the other side. So opposite leg again, stretching out. In, on the other leg again, pushing out. Okay, and then bringing that leg in. Then taking both legs out if you can. If not, I want you to come down with your knees on the floor. So when you come down, taking your hands ahead of you and come down with a tricep push to the floor and lower yourself here. Okay, otherwise you can come with me and you can stretch your legs out. So we're into a full plank, nice tight, nice lovely plank here, nice and straight. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, you're lowering yourself down slowly to the floor, reaching the floor. Okay, we're going to do some stretching in the spine here. So we're going to do our swan pose. So we're going to do it step by step. So hands by, so actually first of all let's just rest our head. So hands in front at the moment, one hand on top of the other, and rest your head down. You are here now getting a slight back bend, okay, because the head is slightly up. So you're getting a back bend here, and you're opening some of the spine. Relax into it. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then taking the hands round to the side, resting the head onto the mat. We're going to start with our lift. So we're going to do it very gently. So you're going to breathe in, pulling in that core, and as you breathe out, push the pelvis into the floor, roll the head, and come up. So we're getting an opening here, we're stretching the bottom of the spine and breathing out. Breathing in, pulling the core, breathing out, push the pelvis into the floor, pulling the core tight and lifting up. And when you get to here, make sure you're not pushing into the hands. Lift your hands off the floor, because if you're just pushing up with your hands, you're not doing anything, you're not working anything, you're just taking all the weight into your arms, so up. Okay, let's do that again. Breath in, breath out, pushing yourself up. Now we're going to start to use our hands, so we're going to breathe in, going to breathe out, and gently push up. So we're getting a nice stretch again, breathing in, breathing out, breath in, breath out, gently pushing up, taking that stretch a little bit deeper, breathing out. And then this time, breath in, breath out. You can push yourself all the way up, keeping that core tight and then coming back down. Okay, if you want to bring the hands a little bit closer now, so that they're in line with your chest, you can come up into a full upward dog. So you're going to breathe in, you're going to breathe out, you're pushing yourself up, you're pulling that core tight, and as you come up, you lift thighs off of the floor, and you turn, you bend, looking up. That is an upward dog. Breathing out, all the way down. Breath in, do that one more time, breath out, pulling the core tight, pushing up, holding it there, breathing in, breathing out, all the way back down to the floor. Excellent. Okay, we're going to take a gentle quadruple stretch now, so we're going to, these quadriceps down the front here, we're going to stretch them out. So you're going to take one leg up and you're going to pull it towards you. Okay, you can have your head down, you can have your head up, you can rest your head on the opposite hand, and then see if you can lift it off of the floor and really feel that stretch. You might want to use both hands to pull it and really stretch down the front of those quads. And then release. Let's do that on the other side. So either resting here, here, lifting it up. If you don't lift the leg in the air, that's absolutely fine. You're still getting a stretch. If you're pulling it there, you're going to feel that stretch there. Okay, and then if you want, lifting the leg off of the floor and taking that full stretch. And release. Hands underneath, pushing yourself up, coming back into all four position, flat back. Okay, so we've got arms, wrists underneath our shoulders, and we've got our legs hip width apart, knees underneath hips, and we're in what we call flat back. We're going to come up into a downward dog. Downward dog stretches every single part of your body. Okay, it's a fabulous move. You're going to get a stretch which across the shoulders and the arms. You're going to be taking all the weight into arms, so you're going to get good build up of bone density by doing this move. We're going to be stretching out the legs. We're going to be stretching the quadriceps, and the hamstrings, the calves. Everything is going to be stretching. The back's going to be stretched out, and our head is going to be lower than our heart, so we're going to get the blood circulating in a fantastically moving around the body. So taking your hands, one hand in front, so just one hand ahead, okay? So we're now out of alignment. We're going to curl our toes under, we're going to push our glutes back down, and we're going to sit onto our heels. From here we're going to take an in-breath, and we're pulling in that core, and as we breathe out, we lift the knees off the floor, and we start to push ourselves up into our downward dog position. Here, we're aiming to push our chest towards our thighs. So you're pushing forward. You're going to feel that stretch. You're going to feel everything stretching, really pushing to those arms. Now, if it's too much on the arms, you can come down onto your forearms. This is known as a dolphin.
And you can stretch from here, the same thing. You're still going to get those openings across the shoulders, the stretch down the arms, down the legs. And this is actually what they use to relax in yoga. It's a relaxing pose. So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, push that thigh, that chest towards those thighs and hold it. Breathing there, just breathing in, checking in with your body, allowing the blood to circulate. And let's have a little walk out. Let's wake up the ankles and the feet. Give them a nice walk out. And then coming up onto your toes, really up high on those tippy toes, pushing yourself forward. Push those heels down. And don't worry if the heels don't reach the floor, that's not a problem. Then bending your legs and walking your hands back towards your feet and allow yourself to hang like a rag doll there. And we're going to come up and we're going to do some classic Pilates roll up, roll downs. This was Joseph Pilates moves that he sort of originally started with. Since he's been doing, or since he sort of brought it in and introduced it to the world, things have been added to it, but this was one of his classic moves. So we standing nice and tall, we pull in our core and we pull our glutes tight. We stand tall, one piece of string all the way through, nice and tall, facing forward. We take a big in-breath, pulling in the core, and as we breathe out, we tilt the head, chin to chest, and we start to come down very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Our legs are hip width apart, and we start to come down. So I like to slide my hands down the front of my legs, but that's entirely up to you. So the shoulders will come down, the upper back, the mid back, and then the lower back. If you're only getting to here, that's amazing. If you're getting to here, wherever you're getting, you're still opening your spine, you're still elongating it. And each time you do this, hopefully you will come a little bit further. And you're also going to get stretchier down the back of the legs, which is great. So breath in, breathing out, you start to come up. Now you might not do this all in one breath. So if you're taking breaths in and out as you're coming up, make sure you hold the core each breath. As you're coming up, so you've got your lower spine, keeping those glutes tight, and then the mid spine, the upper spine, the shoulders go back and down, the neck comes up, and then finally the head. Okay, do that again, guys. Breath in, breath out. Do these in your breath, rolling up and down, slowly as you can. The slower you do it, the better it is for your vertebrae. Time when you come down to the floor, I want you to hang there for a moment, just hang at the bottom, feel the stretch, wherever you are, just hang, take hold of opposite elbows if you want, or hang, maybe nod your head, yes, shake your head no, release the neck, and then walking your hands out, from coming down onto your knees and coming round to seated. We're going to do some hip stretching and some hip opening now. So sitting forward with legs wide. Okay, we're going to, first of all, we're actually going to open out our chest. We're going to stretch the chest and open the chest out. So you're going to sitting up, you're going to turn yourself around to face one leg, and you're going to bring yourself over. Now we're not bending down, we're not stretching forward here, we're just up and we're opening the chest. Feel that chest opening as you come across. Breathing into the back of the lunge, you can put your hands onto the top of your calf. Open that chest. And then on the next in-breath, breathing out, pulling that core, and now we're going to lower ourselves down. We're not just going to drop, we're moving our chest towards our thigh. So we're coming forward. You can hold behind the front of the foot and you can pull yourself down. Again, you'll notice I have a bend in my leg. This one's straight, this one's bending because I want to keep protect the knees, and my knees are not great, so I always have a slight bend there when I'm coming down. And then pushing yourself back up again. Hold that opening of the chest. And then bringing yourself to forward, sitting tall, nice and tall. Excellent. So breathing in, breathing out, turning over, and bringing yourself across to open here. Okay, maybe on top of the calves. Breathing into the back of those lungs. Breathing out, in through the nose, out through the mouth, keeping the core tight. Next in-breath, breathe out and bring yourself down over the leg, stretching out, stretching the back of those hamstrings there, and obviously opening the hips, pushing yourself back up, come into centre, sitting tall, breathing in, and as you breathe out, bring yourself forward, opening the hips here. Don't be tempted to hold onto your legs to pull yourself down. Just come down gently, resting your forearms on the floor. If you're just here again, every time you do this, you're going to come a little bit further. Okay, so we're not just hanging, we're coming forward here. Opening those hips. Stretching, feel the stretch. Pushing yourself back up and bringing yourself round onto all fours. Okay, we're going to come into a lunge. Again, lunge is another move for stretching. So getting yourself onto your all fours, into your nice flat top, flat back position. You're going to bring one leg forward. Okay, now don't just bring it to here, bring it forward. So we've got a nice movement here of pushing the leg forward into it, okay? So at no point must the knees be further forward than the toes, okay? Because then you're going to be coming and doing damage to your knee. So you want you'll be able to see your toes as you're coming down and get the opening here in the inner thighs, in the hips, and stretch down. Allow yourself to drop forward into that stretch. If you want to take a deeper stretch, you can bring your hands onto the inside of the foot. You can move the foot over to the side of the mat and you can come down onto your forearms. Try not to lean over to the side. We're trying to keep it central, keep it nice and straight. Really good hip opener, this one. And then pushing yourself up, bringing your foot back to its natural position, so in alignment to the other one. And then we're going to push ourselves back. We're not going to move this foot, it's keeping where it is. You're just going to lift it up onto the heel. You're going to push yourself back and you're going to hang yourself over that leg and get the back thigh. Those opening. Lovely hamstring stretch there. And bringing that leg up, hands in, bringing that leg back round, taking yourself back. into your flat back tabletop position. Feeling comfortable, keeping the core tight. Bring the opposite leg forward as far as you can into that lunge. Let's open out the hips again, opening the other side. Keeping the core tight. Really bear stretch into that. Feel the opening. We don't want any pain. If you've got any pain, release yourself off rather than pushing down into it. And if you want a deeper stretch, hands down, moving that foot over to the side of the mat and coming down onto your forearms. Keeping the core tight. Then pushing yourself back up. Bringing your foot back to its neutral, natural position. And then moving ourselves back. Keeping that heel where it is. And dropping ourselves over. Opening the hamstrings on the other side and stretching them out. Breathing into it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Core tight. And then releasing, walking across, bringing yourself back into your tabletop position. Now the quadricep front thigh stretch that we did earlier on the floor, you can do from here. So you can bring the leg up, one hand down, and you can, oops, get myself sorted here. You can hold behind and you can, oh goodness, I need to get sorted here. And then, oh, goodness me, wobbling all over the place. We're okay, okay. Right, get yourself nice and comfortable. Bringing the leg up, holding behind it and stretching it. There we go. I'm nice in a comfortable position now. Don't know what I was doing there, moving all around. And you can feel the stretch there, opening out those quadriceps at the front. Holding the core tight. If that is too much, you can come back down onto your tummy and do that move again from there. Okay, but we are moving up, trying to, so getting yourself nice and stable on the other side, lifting the other leg up, and again, stretching it and opening it. Obviously balance is going to be different on every day. Today, obviously, my balance is not as it should be. But, you know, every day is going to be different. Making sure you're holding the core tight as you stretch. Release that leg. And let's take ourselves into child's pose. So we take our knees to the mat width. We lock our toes together. We sit down on our heels. We take an in-breath. We breathe out. And we bring ourselves down over the mat. Now we want to stretch across the back of the shoulders here and the top of the back. So pull forward with your arms. Don't just relax yet, pull forward, open that. Open the back of the shoulder, you know, the back of the shoulders, top of the shoulders, your back, and you'll feel the lungs opening. Breathe into those lungs. Fill them with air, breathing out, relaxing. Now you may relax here, you may relax here, or you may do my favourite position, which is laying with your hands on the back and just laying there. Or my favourite pose, maybe I should say. Sounded a bit bad, didn't it? And relax, breathing here, a few breaths. And then bringing yourselves round and bringing yourselves back onto all fours. Now if you want to take your weight, we're just going to do a few tricep dip and curls just to work the back of the arms here and strengthen those up. So you can do it without, okay? If you are doing it without, make sure you clench that fist. Really take the tension into the arm. So make the arm so it's nice and tight. And you're bringing it up and you're pushing it back. You're not just throwing. Really feel the tension. Really feel that arm working. Okay? Or you can do it with a weight. So we're not doing many, we're just going to do 8 on either side, just to work them a little bit. So up, we want the bone density to build up in these arms. 7, keep the core tight. 6, breathing out as you push away. 'Don't hold your breath. 3, 2, and 1. And bringing that back down. Let's do 8 on the other side. Core nice and tight. Put that down. Excellent. Bring yourselves back round to seated. We're going to do a full stretch again here. So sitting up nice and tall, make sure you're on your seated bones, nice and comfortable. We're going to bring ourselves forward over our legs. What's that's going to open, obviously, the back of the calves here. It's going to stretch our hamstrings, and it's going to help with the hips as well. So this is a good stretch. Keeping the feet flexed, and you can hold behind the feet. If you can't get there and you want to hold behind the calves or something, you know, pull yourself down from there, that's great. But don't just hang. Hanging's going to do nothing. We need to bring ourselves forward. We're stretching forward, so we're sitting tall and we're coming forward. Our chest is aiming to go towards our calves. Obviously, they're not going to get there, not unless you're super bendy or something. They're sort of coming down, but they're not hanging. We're coming forward. So we need that stretch. We want to open out. So we're going to open out the spine at the same time. All those vertebrae are going to be breathing, the lungs going to be breathing and opening, and we're getting that stretch that we need. So again, every breath in, pulling in the core, releasing a little bit, breathing out, pull the core in and bring yourselves a little bit lower. Get to your comfortable point of tension and hold it there. And then release. Fabulous. One more little hip opening. So taking the legs wide again. We're going to bring ourselves down. We're going to push our elbow into our thigh and we're going to open. So we're taking a chest opening, we're opening our hips and we're stretching ourselves away here. So arm pushing into the thigh, push that in, lifting the opposite arm up and using this arm as leverage to push ourselves up and open. Feel the opening, feel the stretch. Don't hold your breath, keep breathing. I know it's harder to keep the core tight at this position, but try if you can, and then release. Let's take that on the other side. Elbow into the thigh, pushing in, pushing away, opening out, breathing. And bringing yourselves back up. We're going to bring ourselves down to laying and we're going to go into a little bit of final relaxation. Yay! Okay, so sitting nice and tall. If you're coming down from your side, don't forget to come down on your left if you have low blood pressure. If you're coming down with me, we're going to do it one sort of step at a time. So feet nicely, firmly flat on the floor. Hip width apart with the legs. Again, if you're finding that you start to shake at any point when you're coming down, hold behind those thighs and we're coming down in our C curve. So arms nicely out in front, sitting nice and tall, breathing in, pulling in that core, breathing out, we pull the core in even more and we hold it. Breath in, core tight, breath out. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, hold it. Last one, breath in, breath out, all the way to the floor, full body stretch, push it away, really feel that stretch now. Maybe opposite foot to arm, and then both arms, both legs away. And then release, hands down to your sides. Let's take a big in-breath through the nose, out breath through the mouth. Fabulous. Okay, take your feet mat width apart. If you've still got lower back issues, then feet flat on the mat, knees locked in together. Actually, I think before that, we're just going to do a final spinal stretch. So yeah, everybody feet flat on the floor. Let's do one final spinal stretch just to work it out. So you can do it with your feet where we did at the beginning of the class, mat width. You can do them hip width apart, or you can take one leg over the other, arms out to a T shape, keeping shoulders on the floor all the time, breathing in, pulling in that core, and as you breathe out, keeping the core tight, taking your legs over to one side and releasing into that, getting to that point and relax, really relax. Taking your gaze over to your opposite hand, if you wish, don't, it's only an option. But we are relaxed now, the core's relaxed, everything's relaxed, we're allowing the body to open and breathing into any points of tension we've got. And if you wish to take the upper leg away, holding on to it with the opposite hand for that deeper stretch, then do so. Releasing the leg if your was holding it, taking an in-breath, pulling in the core. At the same time, bringing legs to centre, reaching your centre, breathing out. Get your centre comfortable again, let's do that on the opposite side. Your choice of move, breathing in, breathing out, dropping those legs over, relaxing into it, looking over to your opposite hand, really relax now. Close your eyes if you want. And then if you want to take that upper leg away, holding with the opposite hand, stretching for a deeper stretch. All the time keeping the shoulders on the mat, both shoulders. And releasing that leg, taking an in-breath, pulling in the core. Same time, bringing legs to centre, reach the top, getting central, breathing out. Now we're going to our final relaxation. So legs down the mat or mat width apart, knees locked in, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Let's take our release of the neck, so gently rocking the head from side to side, just slowly doing it. Shoulders relax, the rest of your body relax, just the neck moving, or the head moving rather with the neck. Coming to centre, taking that in-breath, pulling in the core. Breathing out, lifting chin to chest only. Keeping the core tight, breathing in, breathing out. Core still tight, head releases, core releases. Final relaxation. Let's take a massive, great big in-breath through the nose and release out through the mouth. Letting everything feel free. Okay, so the toes are relaxed, the feet are relaxed, the ankles and the calves, the knees and the thighs. Ask them to relax. Pelvis and the glutes. The lower core and the lower spine. The mid-core and the mid-spine. the upper spine and your chest. Your fingertips, your fingers and your hands. Your lower arms, your elbows. Your upper arms and your shoulders. Your torso relaxed. Your neck and your head heavy into the ground. Relax the face muscles, relax your jaw, your cheekbones. Relax your eyes and your eyebrows. Relax the forehead and the top of the head. Your whole body relaxed and surrendered to the floor beneath you. Heavy. The weight of your body heavy into the ground. You've got a little breeze that's going to blow over your body. And the tips of your toes, it's going to work its way over your legs and your torso and your arms, over your face and away. A lovely warm breeze flows back down over your body, from the tip of your head, over your shoulders and your arms, your torso, your legs and away. And it rolls back again over your body, away at the tip of your head and back again. And then relax. And give your favourite colour, that colour warming your heart chakra. That colour is now going to work its way through your body and is stretching the warmth and love through every part of your body, through your chest and your arms, down along your legs, up into your neck and your face, your fingertips and your toes, surrounded by that colour. And then just relax. Take your concentration to your breath. It's the rise and fall of your natural breath in your chest. Any thoughts that come into your mind, just acknowledge them and let them go. Take your concentration back to your breath. Keeping your eyes closed, have a full check-in of your body as you did at the beginning of the class. See how it feels any different now, how it's appreciated the practice that you've just done, and start to bring some movement back to the body. Wriggling your fingers and your toes maybe moving the arms, the legs. Taking an in-breath through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe a full body stretch, whatever it is for you, keeping the eyes closed if you can. And then taking yourself, when you're ready, over onto your side, left-hand side if you have low blood pressure. Make a little cushion with your arm and rest your head. Opening your eyes very slowly push yourself round onto all fours. We're going to bring ourselves up to standing, but we're going to do it slowly because we've been laying on the floor with our eyes closed, and we don't want any head rushes. So pushing yourself, got your toes there, taking yourself onto your fingertips and push yourself up onto your toes. Bring your fingertips a little bit closer and push yourself up onto your feet, flat on the floor, and then allow yourself to hang. Feel the opening there. And taking your hands onto your hips, bending those legs quite a lot, bending now, pulling in the core, squeeze the glutes, and lift yourself up. Slowly, one vertebra at a time to standing. Last thing to come up will be your head. Standing tall, let's take a big deep in-breath. Raise those arms, breathing out. Shake the arms, shake those fingers, really shake them out. Give the legs a shake, wake the legs back up. Let's take another big deep in-breath, legs wider than hip width now. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Bringing those legs together, taking our last big deep breath in. Breathing out, bringing the hands down in prayer position to your heart chakra, giving yourselves a bow. And giving yourselves a clap. Well done, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that bit of stretch today. A little bit different to what I normally do, but I've enjoyed that. Hope you have.